All right, Gator, it's time for Karsch and Anderson Mock 2.0. All right, we need your help desperately to complete the following. The perfect pick at 17. We do this 3 months out. We're inside of 2 months out. Today seemed like a good day for it. So we're 2 months out-ish from the NFL draft. And then we follow along on how it evolves as we get closer to the draft. We'll do it a month out and then the week of the draft. We do 4 of these, and it's the people's pick. It's the people's pick at 17. Who's the perfect pick for the Detroit Lions at 17? 248-539-9797. We want to know who you want. Now, you can text over your pick, and when you do that, we'd like you to give a reason why. If you think the perfect pick is, Spencer Fanu, why do you go with Spencer Fanu? Like, what is it that pushes you in that direction? And we also have to tell you, I think almost all of Detroit, not all of Detroit, but many people are in favor of trading the pick. But for the purposes of this exercise, you cannot trade the pick. So if they cannot move out of 17, who do you want them to take? We also have a can't draft list. Guys that virtually all mock drafts say will be gone by the time they're there. There's 11 players that made this list. They are Fernando Mendoza, quarterback, Indiana. Jeremiah Love, running back, Notre Dame. Mekhi Lemon and Carnell Tate, the 2 wide receivers from USC and Ohio State. Francis Muiaga, the offensive tackle from Miami. David Bailey and Ruben Bain, the 2 edge rushers from Texas Tech and Miami. The linebackers, Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles, both from Ohio State. The cornerback, Mansour Delane from LSU. And the safety, Caleb Downs from Ohio State. So the pool of players that you have to choose from at the positions of need, well, you could go any of the tight ends if that's the direction you want to go, including Kenyon Sadiq, which we debated whether or not we should have him available and seemed to be a possibility that he would be there. The linemen, Spencer Fanu, Caleb Lomu, Monroe Freeling, Gator from Georgia. The guard, Olabivenga Ione, can be the draft pick. The edge rushers, Keldrick Falk, Cassius Howe, and Akeem Messidor, Zion Young as well. The defensive tackles, Peter Woods, Caleb Banks out of Florida. The corner, Jamab McCoy from Tennessee. And the safeties, Dylan Thieneman and Emmanuel McNeil Warren. Now, you don't have to take any of the players I just mentioned. Those are just the players available for the purposes of this exercise. 248-539-9797. Who do you think the perfect pick at 17 is, Detroit? And we will record this and take a look back as we get closer to the National Football League draft.
Because things will change dramatically.
They always do.
Next week.
Right.
Next week you've got the opening of free agency. We'll see what the Lions are doing. And with that in mind, going off of some perhaps recent intel, or not intel might be the wrong word, but just seeing that the Lions have brought certain people in to take a look at and to talk to, both college players ready for the draft and NFL players getting ready for free agency. I thought it was really interesting that they're rumored to have talked or reported to have talked with Jedrick Wills, the offensive tackle, who's recovering from a knee injury. It's been like a year and a half that he's been recovering from it, but basically took last year off. Said, you know what, I'm good. I'll be better when the season's over. And when he's healthy, he's a really good offensive tackle. And so my head's going, okay, let's just say for the sake of argument, in my own head here, the Lions target him in free agency and they bring him in. Then maybe that takes away the need for an offensive tackle for me at the draft. If you're going to sign Wills and give him a 4 or 5 year deal, something like a 4-year deal, okay, now you're looking for the future with that, and maybe I've locked up my tackles. Now I can look elsewhere on the offensive line, or do I look at defensive end, or do I look at safety? And I'm a firm believer you build things in the trenches. So I'm ruling out the safety, even though they desperately need one, and I think they'll address it in the draft, just maybe not at pick 17. So it comes down to me, again, between edge rusher and offensive lineman. And the pick is in. With the 17th selection in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select offensive guard from Penn State, Olabivenga Ione.
Wow. Look at you. You kind of caught me off guard with that one.
It's my 51.
I hear you.
There are 3 players that I really like. Looking at this, the 3 players are Ione, who I took, Akeem Messidor, who I love is an edge rusher, and the other one is Monroe Freeling,
Right.
the big offensive tackle.
Okay, so remember, this is who you would take.
Yes,
I
and again,
predicted.
it's based on the intel that I think that they could sign Jedrick Wills as a tackle for a couple years.
Yeah, which would be an interesting move. High upside, depending on the contract. It could be low risk, high reward. But it, again, depends on the contract. With that said, Scott, earlier in the week, I made a prediction that the Detroit Lions would select Monroe Freeling from Georgia. That's the player that I think fits their profile the best of what they would do. I am not them, Scott. I would not do that. If this is the board that presents itself to me,
Yeah.
Scott, the pick is in.
Oh,
And with the 17th pick in the 2026 National Football League draft, the Detroit Lions select Keldrick Falk, edge rusher / defensive lineman from Auburn. The numbers aren't there in terms of production, but if you look at his snap counts, they moved him inside at Auburn quite a bit last year to play defensive tackle. I love that versatility, and he fits the suit, okay?
Definitely does.
So I'm willing to take the chance that this is a versatile player that can handle the physicality of playing inside, but also can provide some. I mean, he did have 7.5 sacks, I believe it was 2 years ago. So I'm gonna go that direction here, Scott. I don't think it's what they're gonna do, but that's what I would do.
just so people understand, Mel Kiper he rated the top 10 of each position. He's got Keldrick Falk at number 3 among defensive ends, one spot ahead of Akeem Messidor.
There you go. All right, 248-539-9797. You tell us who the perfect pick is. We get heavy text traffic on this, so make sure you sign your text and make sure you give a reason why. We'll read a bunch of those coming up. We tally them up at the end of the show. We announce who Detroit, as of this date on March 6th, who Detroit most wants at 17. It's been a fun exercise over the years. It's your pick, so make it. 248-539-9797. We got trade deadline coverage all day long. We're all over that. Got to talk about that Piston game last night in San Antonio and put it in the context of what has happened lately. We'll get to that today at 11:16 here on Karsch and Anderson on 97.1.